everybody, welcome back to the Scalp Hair Masterclass. I'm here to show you how to texture a scalp base. So in one of my videos I showed you how to make the hair texture. This video I'm going to be showing you how to make the scalp texture, which you would use for buns or a ponytail like this one, or braids, whatever. I'm gonna try to make this as in-depth as I can, even though this specific tutorial isn't gonna fit every hair. Let me just give you the details on this hair. Okay, I don't actually have the reference. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put the reference on the screen. It's a side ponytail, so as you can see, it's asymmetrical, which means we're not going to use oh my gosh, I didn't even wrap. Which means we're not going to use this scalp UV layout. We're going to use the full scalp. And this is a duplicate of my original scalp just to make sure I have one extra at all times. Since it's an asymmetrical scalp, I'm going to apply the mirror modifier and also the subdivision modifier. And I'm going to unwrap again. So this is what it's gonna look like, and I'm gonna scale it just to make sure everything's good. And move it to the side. I have to be mindful of where my scalp texture starts from. So I'm just gonna apply the material. And it's still touching, so I need to scale it even more. Wow. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is actually just create the middle part right now. The center part right now. And make sure it actually fits my face at the back. Okay, and at the sides as well with our regular head. Okay, I've tried to like make it as close to the head as I can without it being like crazy. And I don't want to hear any comments about how my scalps are thick. I know my last scalp hair was thick. I forgot to check it before I posted. So my last scalp hair was in fact thick. That is my fault. But this one, as you can see, it's not thick at the front, it's not thick at the, like, it fits snug as a bug on the regular head anyway. It's still gonna be a little helmet on cheek. Oh, and of course it's clipping, so I need to fix that. So everything is done with that, and what I'm gonna do is edit the scalp base itself to like look more like a side ponytail, if that makes any sense. Okay, that'll be fine for now. For the actual texture part, what I'm gonna do is go into texture paint mode and set my brush to paint hard. Gonna set this for now, and I'm just gonna like draw the outline of my hair, where I want like my hair to start and stuff. So like where I want edges to be, where I want my hairline to be. Sorry, I definitely meant hairline. I'm just gonna get my drawing tablet so I can draw. What? Why is it so thick? Okay, whatever. I'm back. I had to reconvene because I forgot what the hair looked like. And I'm like, okay. Now that I know I'm gonna be doing. So the edges are kind of like this, and then like just like little hairs, and like the hairs kind of like connect to the scalp like that. Oop. they kind of do that into the scalp. I don't know. Let's see what happens, because I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. Let me just turn off the symmetry. What symmetry? Yeah. Texture paint. Yo, I really suck at this. Okay. Whatever, however you draw that edge. It's not really my problem. I'm also going to include some back edges because, you know, I might as well. I'm already here. I might as well just include. What I'm going to do now is I guess I'll draw the outline of the hairline. Symmetry back on for a second, so I know like where the hairline starts. Oh, okay. And it doesn't have to be. Okay, I drew the back edges way too big. I don't know what's going on. Me. So that's how it would look, right? And I'm just gonna fill this in with black. Nothing too crazy, I guess. This is like just me laying down the base. We're not actually gonna texture in Blender. Like, I'm just doing this for the sake of doing it. And it's good that we have the symmetry turned on for now, because we could just do it symmetrically. All this is just like me laying down the guides for the scalp. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because it's not super, it doesn't need to be super clean anyway. Now, this is the kind of important part that you don't really want to skip. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a bright color, and this is gonna be like my guideline, and I'm literally just gonna like draw the path that the hair is supposed to follow into the ponytail. So if the hair is supposed to follow that path, I'll draw it like that. I'm gonna look from the top just to make sure there's no distortion. If you're wondering why I'm drawing it curved, it's because my reference is kind of curved. But if I was just doing a regular ponytail, I'll just do it like that, like this. But because my reference is kind of curved, I'm trying to put a little bit of sauce into it. Also, if you can't draw it straight, just use this stroke thing over here. I can never draw like straight lines either, so it's completely fine if you can't. And this is essentially just a guideline. For when you texture later, just to make sure you know where like every part of your texture belongs, if that makes sense. Because if you didn't draw this, you might not know, you know. Just make sure that the texture actually connects with where the ponytail should connect. Whoops. So this is where we're at right now, and sometimes I do this to make sure I know where the hairline is, but I don't really need to do this because it's kind of obvious because the edges are here. But yeah, just sometimes I do this, and I know, okay, this is the front of the hair, and I know what direction I should make the hair follow. But just in case, sometimes I also just draw arrows just to remind myself, hey, the hair's supposed to go upwards. You'd think like I would instinctively know these things, but sometimes my brain is just like, ugh. And I think that's enough. This is what the texture looks like. To be fair, when it's like flat and 2D, it's like less intuitive, but you see the bigger picture, you see what I'm going for? I'm gonna just save this as a new thing. Oops, I saved this as the wrong file. And then I just open it in Photoshop beside my regular texture. So let me just switch my screen. And y'all, I struggle so hard with this ponytail because look at it, like it's kind of detailed. It's got the flipped ends, like it's sitting at like everything except the scalp base is sitting at 3000. So I'm gonna have to optimize, quote unquote optimize my scalp base to be 1000 triangles. Basically that's all I've got. Okay, now that I have the thing, my Photoshop file over, ignore all these layers, guys. I messed up with the layers. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have too many layers. Anyway, I'm just gonna open my actually I can't open it like this, but I'm just gonna import my outline by just dragging it in. This is an old one. If I wanted my UV space, I could just shrink my texture to be more to the left, but I didn't want to do that because then I would have to, I just didn't want to do it. I'm gonna convert this to a raster. I'm gonna delete this side just because you don't have to do this. I'm just trying to make it coherent for you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace this thing with the path tool. The path tool's like kind of insane, like it's kind of weird to use if you've never used it before, but it's fine because I'm going to show you. You don't have to have a drawing tablet really for Scalp, but it helps if you do. Anyway, get your pen, path tool, whatever, and you want to like click and like drag it to create these control points. They don't have to be like super perfect right now. Oh, if you want to move something, just click the control button on your keyboard to edit the little like ends. Yeah, and you can just continue drawing with the left click. Or if you don't really, like, you can also just draw like a black circle. Like, you don't need to use a pencil, but I'm gonna be using the pencil later anyway, so I might as well start with it. Remember, you have to hold down control to edit these little points. I wish I could play the music I was listening right now. Y'all can't hear this fire copyrighted music. Stream Slender Buddies. Anyway, I'm just gonna right click and click fill path. And I have my foreground color set to black. And yeah, it's just filled like that. Click enter and it applies itself. Next thing we are going to do is just turn on the opacity on it so we can see the outline better. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our drawing tablet, get our hairbrush that we should have. I'll try to recommend some in the description for you to purchase if you don't want to use a free one. I'll link a paid one. It's like really easy to find a free one in Ibis, but I don't know how Ibis works. I think it should be easy to find a free one in Clip Studio. Remember, like, you don't have to use Photoshop, guys. Like, even if you're just making a scalp texture part, you can switch apps and then just import it back into Photoshop when you're done. Or just don't use Photoshop at all, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm just using the smudge brush now to like smudge the edges. And if I just hide this, you can see I'm creating a hairline. And when I'm done, I'm gonna like smudge everything back out so it looks more realistic and less like a wig. You know what I mean? You know, the wigs with like that are like very clearly laced wigs because they don't want to do the hairline on them. Like they install the wig without fixing the hairline, so it's like really obvious that it's a wig. No shade to wig wearers, but why do you guys do that? Just plug the hairline. Just plug the hairline. Let me actually I'm just gonna pause and come back when I'm done. I'm back and I'm done. So what I did was use my sponge brush and I went around all the edges and I smudged them inwards. I'm gonna repeat the same process outwards, but when I'm doing it outwards, I'm gonna be more careful and I'm gonna like check to make sure everything is smooth. Because you can kind of see it's not smooth. Like, it's not like in a smooth circle. When I start doing it, I need to make sure everything actually fits perfectly to the thing I drew. Like, just to make sure, like, it looks a certain way if you don't do it. And it's gonna happen, it's inevitable. And I'll show you what it looks like. In the meantime, you can actually just like save your texture and test it in Blender, since we're here already. Yeah, so as you can see, it's giving something. It's definitely giving something. I'll say that much. So yeah, when we texture, we need to make sure like this part is like more lower than this part. This part needs to go in so we don't get that pointy bit. We need to make sure everything's perfect and tapered and like cool. And we're gonna, with the front, we're gonna be more like outwards so it can really touch the edges, and I'm gonna make sure I let it touch the edges. I'm gonna actually rotate my canvas just to draw the front. See this like edge direction? I'm just gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna smudge it in the direction of the edge. You can also like go in and go back out like really quickly, like this, like that. And don't worry that it's like too long because I'm gonna erase it anyway. And this basically just creates like a more realistic hairline. We also want to make sure the density is like consistent, so like no part is like overly thick while some like another part looks like it's balding. We don't want that. Yeah. Also make sure to check the direction of the thing because I literally forgot to. It's going this way now, so I need to go like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna pause again and come back when I'm done because this is taking would take longer than like if I was doing like half of the hair base. But since I unwrapped the whole hair base, it's gonna take a minute. It took me a minute, but this is kind of what you should be giving at the moment. And I've been in it the whole time, so nothing crazy going on. No techniques. Just a good smudge brush is all you need. I don't even know if I mentioned that, like, use the smudge brush. I'm gonna increase the size, but before that, I'm gonna just save it to look at it in Blender. So it starts to look more like hair. Still a bit chopped, but it's starting to look more like hair, regardless. I'm just gonna make it like more like thinned out at the like the ends. I'm also gonna curve it more, I guess. I mean, that side doesn't even matter. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna do one side because the other side don't matter for real. But if it wasn't covered up, I would definitely pay more attention to it. Just because I'm not paying attention to it right now doesn't mean you shouldn't. It's your hair, you do whatever you want. What we're gonna do now is gonna take our eraser brush and we're gonna set it to no hardness, set the size decently big, nothing too crazy. Set opacity to like half or like this or something, I don't know. And set your flow to like, yeah. So when you erase it, it'll look something like this. Actually, I'm gonna turn the opacity up. I'm gonna turn the flow up too, because I kind of want to be more precise. I'll turn it a smidge. I want to be more precise. So what I'm doing now is I'm just reeling the ends in. So it's not like a really harsh like transition. It's also like shaping the hair. And it's gonna look more like this, which is okay for now. Honestly, just the fact that the skin tone isn't the same is kind of killing me. Also, I'm not gonna lie guys, like in my last tutorial where I melted the lace, I melted the whole scalp, which you shouldn't do. You should use vertex groups. Is that what I did? I don't know. I don't remember what I did, but the point is it wouldn't have made any difference because it was only I cut most of the scalp away. But since all the scalp is showing here, it will make a difference. So we do have to use vertex groups. This actually shouldn't be a part of. I'm just gonna remove this. So it just looks smoother. I'm gonna bring the front a little more down, but I'm basically done. So what I'm gonna do now is get my brush tool, make sure it's set to soft, and use black, and I'm gonna like try to fill in the bald spots. Just switch between like smudging and filling. But the next part is to create the hair strands, and this part I don't even know what I do. Honestly, I always forget the hairbrush I use. I think it's like one of these. But basically, I use the hair. I do that, okay. I do that and I pull it from the center to the hair end edge or otherwise, and I start with that anyway. Oh, probably gotta reduce the size. Yeah, I start with that, and as we go, like I eventually use the pen tool to draw the strokes. Considering like it doesn't even match up with my guidelines, I'm gonna just try to follow like the direction of the hair and try to follow the guidelines. Like I'll start in the direction of the hair and then try to follow the guidelines. Like go towards the center or like the middle where I'm supposed to pull the hair to, and that's what I do. Or the other way around. The reason I said I don't even know what I do in this step is because like I said, I always forget what brush that works well. So I usually end up like doing this multiple times. Now I'm gonna use the pen tool, and depending on position, like if you want super straight lines or whatever, you should probably start with the pen tool. But I'm gonna reduce the size. and I'm gonna use the pencil to like draw the thing. And right click, stroke path, simulate pressure, click enter, and it does that. I think it's still too big though, so stroke path, okay, and like, yeah, that's what it does. It might take a bit of working around to get like something that works. This is too small now. There's no lines visible. Yeah, bro. So that's kind of what I just do, like, throughout the hair. Always make sure to go outside of it because you're simulating the burn pressure. If you don't, it'll like end right before the hair. So make sure you go past the hair. Click, drag, right click, stroke path, and yep. You can also click like this and go into your pen, brush, whatever, and just click enter and it does it. But then you have to go back to path and then click enter to get rid of the path. So it's kind of too long. I don't know. Like, it depends on how you like to work, I guess. For the like in between parts, try not to overlap too much because it is visible, but sometimes overlapping is inevitable, so that's just my method. So as you can see, I'm filling in the gaps with the brush tool. It's the same brush, I'm just not using the path tool since I'm trying to get more precise, and I just like turn down the size what I need to do the smaller gaps. Okay, I'm back again and now I'm done. So this is what I've done. I've just like placed a bunch of these strokes and it kind of looks like hair, kind of. What we're gonna do is create a clipping mask first, so everything is stuck to that black fur ball that we created, and maybe linear, maybe. I'm gonna set the opacity like super low, like this or something. I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm going to get black. I'm gonna get my regular round brush, soft round. I'm gonna like reduce this first, but like basically in the areas where it's like overpowering, like bright, like where the brightness is overpowering and like standing out, just doing that. And then I'm gonna go into filter and I'm gonna go into blur, Gaussian blur. Then I'm gonna blur it out like this. Yeah. And now I'm going to go to this. I'm gonna create a white layer, and this is gonna be our highlight. So I'm gonna make this reasonably small, and I'm going to do this. Actually, I'm gonna turn the opacity back to 100, and I'm gonna do this. I should probably make the flow 100 too, just because. And I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to go into a filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and yeah, it's gonna do that. And this one's gonna be like a pretty big blur, so I think I'm gonna do this for now. I'm gonna repeat that same process, but with a smaller brush size and in the middle of this. And if it doesn't look good in Blender, we're just gonna redo it. It's not that deep. Blur, Gaussian blur. Make this one like smaller, a lot smaller. I don't know what blend mode is best for this. I'm not gonna lie. Because I could create a duplicate of this and use both soft light and regular light. Not regular light, normal. Save it. Should probably make this. I'll leave this as overlay for now. Save. Blender, open your texture, and this is what it looks like. Right. We probably need. It's actually not even correct. The positioning isn't correct. We need to move it up, and it needs to be more like over here. So my annotate needs to be like this probably. I should have created a guide for that. Like I said, if it's not good, we'll just do it over. And also I'm gonna make it a little brighter because I couldn't really see it. Not quite. I mean, kind of, but like, for one, it's too thick, but I think it needs to be more like this, probably. Yeah, okay. Okay, not quite. I think it needs to be more like, I don't even know, maybe like this? Let me just erase this. I'm gonna erase some of the Gaussian blur because we don't need that much. I'm also gonna set this to overlay. Is that what I had it as? Or soft light? I think it was soft light. We're gonna duplicate it, Control J, and we're gonna look at it in Blender. Okay, it didn't save. That's how that looks. I fear the face was making it look super goofy. Not to mention this isn't even my usual style, but I wanted it to look like my new hair texture, so I'm overworked and underpaid. I'm really underpaid. Go buy my hair. Go buy my hair is plural. Yeah, like I want to say we're done, but like it's not looking too good. So I'm just gonna fix I'm gonna fix the nape. I'm gonna fix yeah, honestly, it's just the strands need some fixing before I can say we're done. And obviously I need to do the edges, but I'm not gonna do that on camera because I need to record out on my phone to do that. So this is where I'm at. Like, I'm gonna add this edge here and the nape hairs, and I'll probably fix the nape so it's not so messed up after I add the nape hairs, because I need to push the nape upwards anyway to add the nape hairs. To edit, what I've been doing is I've been kind of using the liquify tool as well, and I've just been doing this, and then I look at it in Blender, and I need to optimize this so it's good. Okay, unfortunately, this is not going to be like an edges tutorial because I just can't do that at the moment. I draw all my edges on my phone, so I'm not able to do that at the moment. So I'll come back when I've done my edges. Oh, and you can see right here that I dissolved a lot of the edges, so this part is like crunchy now. It's fine, it's just the back of the head, you know. Hopefully the edges bring this thing to life, because y'all, like, I just wanted to do something different. I was like, okay, let me do a side ponytail. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Okay, so I finished it and I drew the edges in Ibis, and I guess I'm gonna have a different tutorial for that because I'm not great at edges. Look, this is what I got. Oh my gosh, I wanted some like more natural looking edges, and that's why I like this middle one. But yeah, I'm not the best at edges. Maybe eventually I'll do an edges tutorial, but not right now. I think it turned out fine. I mess with it. Okay, I'm gonna do this scalp texture tutorial, blah blah blah, and then in the future I'm gonna try to do an edges tutorial, and we'll see what happens from then. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.